Why are puns considered cringy in the West? Puns are often in flyers, products, commercial, and business names in the West. 2.https://bevk9ah3tsky8c equals ova xvmzlmdrw29xy. The eye roll or groan is essentially a cultural form of laughing at it. It's not really coming from sincere disgust, it's like a way of acknowledging that it's just so dumb. Puns are fine in Canada. One of our longest-running current affairs radio program casts the evening's headlines as puns. I think the secret to laying a good pun is the no italics rule. If you say, you can tune a guitar, but you cannot tune a fish, ha ha ha, your delivery is full-on dad humor cringe. This is Fozzie Bear method. Never ever use the Fozzie Bear method. If you say, whiteboards really are remarkable, aren't they, as if you are making a perfect normal claim, this can work. Remember, the goal of a good pun is that the slowest person in the room doesn't even realize it happened. Low-effort puns are cringe. A good pun will certainly be appreciated. It's more the very obvious and commonly overused ones that are frowned upon and considered cringy. What country are you from, OP? I often find puns to be forced, and most people I know do in fact tell them because they get a cringy reaction for it to be annoying. They also come off as childish a lot of the time. I appreciate a clever pun, but most of them are not clever, they are just this word sounds a bit like this word, so I'll substitute it. Try out 10 different puns on a random person and see how many made them laugh. I think you'll find no pun in 10 did. I dunno man, I see awful puns all the time in every comment section of this website with tons of upvotes. Vast majority of users here are Westerners. A good pun is great. One that fits the moment and is clever. Can't get enough. But in my experience, people don't know the difference between a well-timed, good pun and overkill redundancy. Take for example your average Reddit comment chain. We've all seen them. One person makes a pun, and then 100 others comment on top of that with every other related pun possible. The original first might have been clever, but the rest are so far gone and dead that it's, yes, cringy. Which I can only hope is their goal, because I'll be very disappointed if they are all lined up and waiting their turn for a pat on the back and a hearty, aha. That was good. Not quite to the extent of Reddit comment threads, but puns are popular in real life too. But people don't know how to do it tastefully. It's like a child who learned a new joke trick and proceeds to beat that horse even after it's dead. Most people who love puns can't let an opportunity go by without saying as many as possible, even as follow-ups to their previous puns, mistaking groans from their peers as encouragement to continue. It's a cultural thing to respond in that groan way, but it still means we love it really. It's all part of the game. It's interesting that you asked this, because I've been wondering, is the phenomena of dad jokes, mostly puns, a Western thing or universal? Puns aren't seen as cringe, they are used extensively in English. The problem is lazy or unoriginal puns. They come across as cringe. The pun is the lowest form of humor, said all the people who can't come up with one. Japan also has dad jokes called dadjerps: n.wikipedia.org wikidadjer. A bad one will get a groan, and a good one will get a laugh, sometimes along with a groan. It's pretty much the same reaction as in the US. Puns are funny, and don't let haters tell you otherwise. I am an American. I think that an original pun that you make up on the spot is absolutely brilliant. Repeating a pun that you've heard somewhere before, especially if it has become a cliché, is a bore. I might be guilty sometimes, but the same thing applies to me too. I believe it stems from the fact that a pun is using words improperly as a joke. Like the classic orange, you glad I didn't say banana? Part of the joke is to act upset, but to some I think the feeling is genuine, because a pun is something that is unexpected. It's like intentionally pissing your pants. It's so taboo, yet a flex on everyone around you that you are in fact asserting your dominance. Okay, maybe that's not a great analogy, but the point is you're basically making their brain question itself as a joke. That's my guess. It's not so much the pun itself, it's the smug delivery a lot of people do when saying puns. Best way is deadpan or in company names. Because people are bad at it, sometimes intentionally. I live in the West and wholeheartedly support the usage of puns. Mostly the anti-pun reactions are sarcastic or ironic and meant as applause for a good pun. You know you have pulled off a good pun when someone boos. It's like a kind of cultural game. People who love puns will be delighted when you pull off a good one. But most other people will respond with mock anger or disgust, like booing or saying get out. In person it tends to be obviously exaggerated, whereas online if you don't know to read it that way it seems more genuinely upset.